RockEyez would like to welcome September Mourning. Hey, man, what's going on?
Hi.
Great. Congratulations on the new release, Volume 2. You put out an EP before this. Are some of them tracks from the EP on this full-length CD?
Yes, they are.
Was there any changes at all to the tracks or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, redid a little bit of the sonic elements of them in the mixes and things like that. So everything was remixed and remastered.
Right. Now, your live show is really theatrical and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Where'd you actually come up with the idea in the early stages?
Well, everything's based on a comic book.
Right,
and so a storyline, so it all came from that.
Right, and your clothes and stuff, was that all designer stuff, or how that?
No, it's all based on the comic book, so everything is created by the comic. Everything has to do with the comic book.
Right.
Everything, like the everything I wear, like everything is verbatim by the book.
Right. Do you enjoy making the videos?
Of course.
Yeah. I figured maybe it's just, one of them sit around and wait type things, but I guess you enjoy it.
I don't understand. Sit around and wait for what?
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your touring show? I know you toured with Marilyn Manson and Otep. Do they actually get to watch your set, or how's that work?
I have no idea. They all performers have their own way of getting ready and things like that. So, I mean, I really have no idea. Right. They might have. I believe they did at one point. I'm sure. Usually, if you have an opener, usually you watch it once or twice. But everybody has their own sort of like thing that they do before they do a show.
Right. What's the feeling like when you have people waiting just to get your autograph?
It's great. I mean, it's just great to meet fans and people that are really into the story and into the books and into, the music and the performance, and that really get it, that really have adopted it as a whole brand and sort of thing. That's really exciting.
Right. Before you go on stage, you have any kind of ritual or anything you do?
I do 3 hours of makeup every time, and I do some vocal exercises and things like that, and we all kind of get together right before we go on stage and do a little fist pound and a little thing before we go on stage, so get everybody pumped up.
Right. I know right now you're hitting the United States and stuff like that. Will you be going to other countries?
We've been to Europe, and we were there, and we played Download Fest and went to Scotland and a bunch of places in England and things like that. So we have been out of the country, and we are going to Canada to run.
Right. When you're on the road and stuff, how's the meals work? Do you? I'd love to know, how do you eat on the bus? Do you go out to eat? How's that work?
You do what you can with what you've got.
Right.
It's like sometimes there's cities that don't have very good, sort of healthy choices, I'd say,
Yeah.
So you're kind of screwed if you eat healthy. But we try to eat as healthy as we can on the road. So.
Right. Are you working on new material already? I know this only came out a couple months ago.
Yeah, we are.
Right. Does that plan for next year?
Yes.
Cool. Is there anybody that you'd like to tour with?
There's a lot of bands that we'd like to tour with. I mean, anything from Bring Me the Horizon to Slipknot to, Motionless in White, and we like a lot of the theatrical bands, but there's also a lot of really good hard rock bands out there right now that would be great to tour with.
Right. How much preparation is going into the live show, before you start? Like you said, the makeup takes hours, and setup and stuff like that. Does it take a full day for everything?
Yeah, it's a full day.
Right.
We're doing it right now. We're in the middle of load-in right now.
Right. Has the band ever did any acoustic shows?
Yes, we've done acoustic stuff on radio all over the country.
Right. Well, what's your goal for this album?
I mean, we're just putting it out there and letting people listen and kind of taking the story and really get familiar with the concept and the whole like universe, and hopefully, gain more fans and more recognition and be able to put out another album and continue the story.
Right. What's the most memorable time on stage? Was there a certain state or a certain venue that is really sticks out in your mind?
I remember this was a while back when I first toured with Manson, and we were at the Fox Theater in Pomona, and I just remember jumping onto a barricade, like, in my boots, and I guess I just, like, cracked my ankle really badly. And I didn't really feel it when I was on stage and the whole rest of the performance, but when I got off stage and I took off my boot, like, my ankle was huge. It was like the size of like a watermelon. So that was kind of like a wake-up call going, I got to be a little bit more careful with what I do. Wow. But yeah, but it was really fun.
Wow. In your earlier days, was there anybody that you listened to that really, you enjoyed listening to, like when you were a kid?
My parents, they had their favorites, so I ended up listening to, their influences. Like they liked Fleetwood Mac, and they liked the Beatles, and they liked, Iggy Pop, and they liked, my uncle loved death metal. That's all he would listen to. Wow. And then, and my parents liked Susie and the Banshees, and, my mom liked her, and there were just a bunch of different, influences, Bowie, so there was a lot of theatrical influences there, but also classical and jazz too. My dad really enjoyed.
Right. What was the first concert you ever went to?
The first memorable one that I ever went to was a Dillinger Escape Plan concert, and it was in the basement of a place in New Jersey. And I just remember seeing, I think it was Ben Weinman, hanging from the rafters and just playing guitar, and everybody just moshing and thrashing about, and I was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So, it was cool. That was super cool.
Cool. When you were younger, did you collect anything?
What do you mean?
Heads
of bats?
No,
unborn fetuses?
No, I don't think so. No, a lot of people collect, baseball cards or anything. You didn't collect nothing?
I mean, I collected comics. My parents had comics, and I liked them, and I collected, I don't know, I wasn't really a collector of sorts. I just, I was more of an experiencer. Right. I traveled a lot, from a very, very young age. So, and we moved around a lot. So I got to experience a lot of life. Right.
I saw on your Facebook page you mentioned about the presidential election. Are you happy or not happy?
I'm happy we live in the United States and we get the honor to elect our own president, I suppose.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think that it's just, I tend to, think that it's better when you have, a House and a Senate that's different than your, party-wise, that's different than your elected president, and we don't have that now. And there were a lot of things that were passed during when the Democrats were in office that really helped different communities, like the LGBT community and women in general and things like that. And I think that now that we have 3 houses that are now all just Republican, we might see a lot of those rights being overturned and being taken away. So I think that that's a little bit scary, but that might be very hard to do. So who knows? I think that we just need to all stand together and be very vocal about what we want and what we don't want, and just continue being that way. Everybody in this, everybody likes to bitch in the United States. So I hate going into a political rant
Right.
Because there's so many different opinions, and so many people, like Hillary, and so many people like Trump, and or they just don't even like Trump, but they just don't like Hillary,
Right.
So I think there was a lot of that going on, in this. And also, we did have Obama in the White House, and then we wanted to put a woman in there too. It's just like those were two very different things going into a presidential seat,
Right.
one after the other. That I think, was a little bit of a concern to some people, So, I mean, there were a lot of different things in this election that took precedent, and I think that people are blind if they don't recognize them, at least somewhat,
Right.
But yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah.
We're still here. The nukes haven't went off yet.
I think people had a hard decision to make, actually, because I was like up and down, like, who do I vote for? And like, it took a long time, So
yeah,
I didn't have like a plan set. I'm voting for this. I'm voting for that. I mean, it was tough,
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, it was like that for a lot of people. I think that. Honestly, I wasn't happy with either candidate.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't like either candidate. I was like, let's just keep Obama in there for another couple of months, try to find somebody else. but unfortunately, we can't do that, We were, I was for Bernie Sanders, but that didn't work out. So,
right, yeah. Wow.
I mean, there's, we've got what we've got now.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with it, and that's all we can do.
Right. Do you see Volume 2 coming out on vinyl?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is there any chance Volume 2 is coming out on vinyl?
I'm not sure about that right now.
Right.
We have no intent of doing that at the moment.
Right. Well, September, it was good talking to you. Welcome to the new United States, I guess, if you want to call it that,
Yeah, we'll see how long people take to go to the Canadian border. Unless he builds that wall he was always talking about. Then we have some problems.
It's so good talking to you, and I wish you the best, and enjoy the tour and stuff like that. Would you like to say anything to the fans in conclusion?
Just thank you to all of our fans and supporters and people that really enjoy the music and the message and the storyline, and we really appreciate all of your, all of you guys being out there and supporting us and coming to shows and see us on tour. We're on tour right now, and check out the dates on our website and buy some merch and say hello to us and keep on keeping on.
Thanks very much, man.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.